Jezebel recently wrote about plastic surgery in South Korea. I had no idea about this, but apparently 1 in 5 women in South Korea undergo some sort of plastic surgery. And there is a Tumblr account that's kind of dedicated to showing you before and after pictures of women in South Korea. And you could see, you know, the drastic changes. So not only do they undergo surgery to make their eyelids look more Western or make their eyes look larger, but they also make their noses look a little more narrow. They also shave their jaw, so it goes from looking square to looking a little more
cat-like.
I don't know if cat-like is right.
Or something.
Yeah,
Kristen
so
Bell.
to have a more defined jaw. So you can see from the pictures that they go through extreme lengths. So the question is, are they trying to be more Western or Westernized, or are they trying to look more American? Apparently their idea of beauty is kind of similar to what Americans consider beautiful, which is skinny, you know, light skin supposedly. But I think people in America also appreciate tans, and of course they do.
That could change in the future, but...
And there was one woman who was asked about whether or not these are Western standards, and she basically says, no, it's not. One of the big reasons Korean women get surgery is not to look white. Koreans and Asians in general, not trying to be rude, but could care less about being white, but want to enhance their beauty. They can't do that by making their eyes smaller. It is true that Koreans find foreign women beautiful, but they don't want to look like them. Just because an Asian wants bigger eyes, forehead, and whiter skin doesn't mean they want to be white. They're trying to fit the standards they have generations. Certain foreigners just happen to fit the standard as well.
Yeah. That's what they're saying. I understand why they're saying that. I don't really buy it. I do think that in that part of the world there is this idea of beauty, and I think it's somewhat based on the movies and the magazines that have been transported over there from America and Europe, I suppose. I think that probably is changing over time, and as these countries develop, and some of them are incredibly developed, possibly even more developed than our own, I think that eventually they'll have their own standards of beauty that are somewhat divergent from ours, and hopefully we'll be a little bit closer to what these people actually look like. But some of these transformations are pretty extreme. And I think that one of the reasons they're so interesting, and I found myself looking through these galleries, I couldn't help it, those pictures are really intriguing. It's the same reason we like shows like Pimp My Ride. We like to see how much you can do with something that starts off in somewhat humble beginnings. Like, how can you pimp it out and make it look good? And some of they apparently can do very extreme things, including shaving down bones.
Right. So shaving down bones seems, of course, very invasive, and it seems like an extreme measure to take to, you know, achieve a standard of beauty. I talked to Steve-O about this because he had a lot to say about it. And as you guys know, Steve is Korean. And he basically talks about how, you know, attitudes toward plastic surgery in the U.S. are very different compared to attitudes in South Korea. For instance, in the U.S., we're very judgmental toward people who have plastic surgery. We want people to achieve a certain standard of beauty in a natural way. We expect women to wear makeup. Right? We don't judge women for wearing makeup. In fact, we expect them to do it. But if they have plastic surgery, all of a sudden we demonize them. In South Korea, the thought process is, well, if I have the means and the ability to improve myself, both intellectually and physically, why wouldn't I do it? So they have a much more, I guess, relaxed or much more open-minded, you know, vision or thought process when it comes to plastic surgery.
Yeah. I mean, I got LASIK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think though, look, people look at the before and after pictures and they see, especially with the enlarged eyes and the shaved jaws, and they think that's just so extreme. But look, I'm going to be honest. When you grow up and you don't feel very attractive, I mean, sometimes you're willing to go to extreme lengths to change that. And I've never admitted this before. This is before I was in the public eye, and there was no reason to believe that anyone would see these photos, but seeing these before and afters make me feel more comfortable with revealing this. So, Jesus, show them the picture. I made some pretty extreme changes, and I have to say that I think that in the end, it was worth it, and if this gets me jobs on TV, I think it was money well spent.
God, you look scary in both of those pictures.
I actually like the left picture. I think I look pretty badass there.
You look like Joey from Full House in the before picture.
I guess.
A little bit. That's kind of crazy.
I like that strong jaw. Yeah, maybe I should have the surgery reverted.